Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Teacher Minette, teaching accounting. Today we're focusing on creditors, especially for those grade 9 students. So in term 1, you did cash transactions where you sold goods for cash and you recorded in the CRJ. Term 2, you did credit sales where you sold goods on credit to a debtor and we use the debtors journal. Now in term 3, we are purchasing goods on credit. We buy goods on credit from a creditor. So we're going to assume this is our business. And for our business to function, we need to have stock. And we do not have money now to buy stock. So we will buy stock on credit. We will go to another business and say, I owe you. And this is where a creditor comes in. We will go to a creditor and we will buy goods or equipment or whatever we need from a creditor. So the business buys goods from a creditor. Therefore, we owe money to a creditor. We can then use this stock and sell it then to a debtor, which you were taught about in term 2. And the business sells goods to a customer on credit, and this is called a debtor. So the debtor owes money to our business, to us, and we owe money to a creditor. Do not confuse the two terms. A creditor is used for credit purchases if we owe money to a creditor. A debtor is for credit sales when a debtor owes us money. So when you go to business, so this is an example of our source document. The source document is an original invoice because the creditor gives us the original invoice. And here for this example, the creditor is Ali Jones and the customer, that's us, is Tidy Sales. And we are buying stock from Ali Jones for $319.98. So that's our total that we are buying trading stock from. Now you can think, if you're getting these different invoice numbers, you're getting an invoice from Pick and Pay, invoice number X20. Then I go to Macro, and Macro gives me an invoice C26. So all these invoices have different numbers. And that will make our books, our accounting books, all confusing. So we need to renumber invoices. So our purchases and those invoices will follow in a chronological order. So it's important that we will renumber invoices. All right, so we're going to use this invoice as my example. So we are Tidy Sales. We are buying from a creditor, Ali Jones, and we're going to buy trading stock of $319.98. So our business is Tidy Sales and our creditor is Ali Jones, and we are buying trading stock from Ali Jones. So all invoices are recorded in a creditor's journal. A creditor's journal is used to record credit purchases. So our invoice number, we will renumber to C01. Your very first transaction for creditors in your test will tell you to renumber the invoices. So here we've got C01. The transaction took place on day 29. Our creditor's name is Ali Jones. Folio you will only use when you are posting to a ledger. The total amount was $319.98. And then after posting the total amount in creditors control, you need to say what this money was for, and it was for trading stock. So we'll post it to the trading stock column. If there is no column, you will use sundry accounts, which you were taught since grade 8, the same as the CRJ and CPJ. So this is a very, very simple journal, very easy. When I will post this to the general ledger, I will credit creditors control and I'll debit trading stock equipment, and all my other sundry accounts. I'll show you later what that looks like. You will credit creditors control as a liability and debit all the other accounts. We will now assume that this creditor, that we pay the creditor an amount just to pay off some of our debts. So we're going to pay this creditor 300. And a payment to a creditor is recorded in the cash payments journal. So you have your EFT. I'm going to use EFT 1, day 30. And in details, the creditor's name, Ali Jones. How much are we paying? In bank, I'm paying 300. And then this is to pay off the debt of a creditor. So in creditors control 300. And this is what a payment would look like to a creditor. When I post this to my general ledger, I will credit bank because my bank is an asset. It will decrease. I will have less money in the bank, and I'll debit creditors control, trading stock, and all my other sundry accounts. So let's see what this general ledger would look like. Usually if you see general ledger, you want to run out the door, but it's easy. When you look at a general ledger, first classify your accounts. So if I see I've got creditors control, it's a liability. Trading stock is an asset. So I'm going to draw here quickly. So I'll say creditors is a liability, plus on the credit, minus on the debit. Trading stock is an asset, so I plus it on the debit and I minus on the credit. All right, there we go. So that's your first thing. If you do a ledger, general ledger, first classify your accounts. Then you'll put in your opening balances. So for creditors control, it's a liability. The balance will go on the credit side. We will assume that we have a balance September 1, balance brought down, and we're going to assume there's a balance of 3,000. This means that we owe all our creditors together 3,000 on the 1st of September. Trading stock, we assume has a balance September 1, balance brought down, and we can assume trading stock 8,000. This means we have stock in our storeroom on the 1st of September of 8,000. These are just an examples. Now we have to post that CJ transaction. Remember when we purchased on the 29th? And you'll use the total column. So my date will be the end of the month. Because I'm not posting the individual transaction, I'm posting the column of creditors control. And as we purchase from a creditor, we will owe the creditor more money. So on the credit side, day 30, your details will be either credit purchases or sundry purchases. Some schools commonly use credit purchases. That's one I like most as well. But others do use sundry purchases, but both is correct. Then in your folio is your journal. This happened in the CJ, and our amount 319.90, and it's a total amount of the creditor's control. Then you say every debit has a credit. So on the debit side of trading stock, I buy trading stock. I have more trading stock. Day 30, creditors control is my contra account. CJ and 319.98. So I debit trading stock, I credit creditors control. Now the CPJ, remember we now paid this creditor 300 Rand. You remember that? So if I look at creditors control, if I pay the creditor, ask yourself, do I owe the creditor more money or less money? So think about this. I pay the creditor, I will owe him less money. You can also think of it like that. If your mom buys you clothing from Edgar's and she just swipes at Edgar's card, she owes the creditor more money. When she goes and pays her account, she owes the creditor less money. So we will now debit creditors control. Remember to post your data correctly, the year, then the month, day 30, and it's bank because it's from the CPJ, and we paid 300. So this is what your general ledger would look like. Very easy. Now let's have a look at the creditors ledger. Let's just take off these writing from the previous slide. There we go. All right, so this is what my creditors ledger looks like. So my creditor is Ali Jones. For every creditor, they'll have their own ledger account. This is creditor C1. So first, I'm going to post the balance of what I owe Ali Jones on September the 1st. This will be given to you in a creditors list. So use the words account rendered or balance brought down, depends from what your school uses. Most users up to grade 12 will use account rendered. Balance brought down would also be accepted. And I'm going to assume that I owe this creditor 200 at the 1st of September. Now I want you to think. On the 29th, we've purchased goods, right? So we owe them more. And on the 30th, we've paid them. But now your debit and credit, don't get confused. This is a creditor's ledger, so credit plus debit minus. So my debit minus and all CPJ transactions will be posted in the debit column. And credit plus all CJ transactions will be in the credit side. I always remember creditors, credit plus debit minus balance equal. So put this in as your little cheat sheet in the test. When you're doing a credit ledger, go to your credit ledger, say debit minus CPJ, credit plus CJ, to remind you. So on the 29th, we've purchased from this creditor. You write in your details the invoice number, invoice C01, folios, the journal, CJ, and now I buy, so I owe them more money. So in the credit column, 319.98. Now your balance, you will use that previous balance, 200 plus 319 and 98 cents. My new balance is 519 and 98 cents. How did I get that? I took the 200 plus the 319 and 98 cents to get my new balance of 519 and 98 cents. Then if you remember on the 30th, we've paid 300. So day 30, the EFT, the source document, EFT01, CPJ. And now if I pay them, I will debit minus 300. To get my new balance, I use that previous balance at 519 minus the 300. And my new balance is then 219 and 98 cents. So I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you've learned something. Leave me a comment to tell me what videos you are looking for, and please like and subscribe my channel if you want more videos. Bye bye everybody.